We've been using streams to get input and output already, via the cin and cout commands. There are also IfStream and OFStream objects that we can use to stream out of and into text files. If it's a text format, we can write to it easily. Cin and IfStream are part of the same family, as are cout and OFStream. To use IfStream, or the input file stream, and OFStream, for output file stream, you need to include the IfStream library. Then you can declare an object of type OFStream or IfStream. Outputting to a text file looks similar to outputting to the screen, except to write to the screen we use cout, but with our file stream we use the file object that we've created. We declare an OFStream variable and pass a file name to open, and we also need to make sure to close it once we're done with the file. We can also use Ndele or /n to put a new line in a text file, or /t to put a tab in. Then with this code, we just get a simple text file. But we can also output other file formats if we follow that file's standards. So for example, in a CSV file, every column is separated by a comma, and every row is separated by a new line. Many file types are just plain text if you open them up in Notepad or something similar. And you could even do this if you really wanted to create another C++ file. We can also use IfStream to read in a text file. You can load any plain text file, just like the ones that we wrote out, but actually reading them is a little more difficult. Once you load in the file, you have to know how to parse it to get useful information out for your program to use. That means you have to write the logic on how to actually read that file or find a library that will do it for you. Here's a really simple example of reading text from an input file. Here we're only loading 3 words and outputting them to the screen, so we just get the first 3. This is a. Similar to using cin to get input from the user to store into a variable, we use the IfStream variable to load text from a text file into variables. But we need to declare an IfStream object, open a text file, and then also make sure that we close it at the end. Similar to using cin to get input from the user to store into a variable, we use the IfStream variable to load text from a text file into variables. But we need to declare an IfStream object, open a text file, and then also make sure that we close it at the end. Why might you want to read in a text file? Well, you can save and load data so that when you open your program you can work on the same information. You can analyze text files on your system. You could read in a file, add formatting, and write it back out. Or you could even read in a set of commands to execute. Also note that you can use the stream operator to store text from a file in data types like strings, ints, and floats. You don't have to cast them. And any others that happen to support streams, just like with cin. You can also use a while loop like this to keep reading every word in a file until we hit the end of the file. Once the end of the file is hit, the while loop stops looping.